Welcome to the BBD Weekly Recap. On last week's episode, Chase and Cody discussed some Elden Ring by George R.R. Martin. Then they took a deep dish, sexy slice of monkeypox. That's right, after talking about monkeypox, the boys both contracted monkeypox after having illicit hot gay sex with monkeys supplied by Chase Taylor and his family in Africa. For those of you who may not know, Chase is from Africa, and his family has quite the monkey farm. I think the boys segued their discussion about monkeypox into a discussion about zombie deer virus. That might have happened on the previous episode. Cody went to the grocery store and saw violinists playing music in the parking lot, confirming our deepest concerns that Operation Zero Hour has begun and Donald Trump has allied with Queen Elizabeth and Vladimir Putin to begin Operation Zero Hour. Chase wasn't afraid of these recent findings and intelligence leaks. Oh yeah, the boys also discussed their final thoughts on the Halo TV show. Chase expressed his love and appreciation for the hard work put into the production, stating, "Master Chief is my favorite character." Cody quietly pooped his pants without telling anyone. This has been the Big Boy District Weekly Recap. Thanks for listening to the show, and always remember to vote.
Remember to vote. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Boy District. Big shout out to Tom Brady for doing our intro this week. He's actually over on Fiverr for anyone who wants to go check him out. He's doing podcast intros for about $5 a pop right now. And he's just a real he's a real good guy. It's great to work with. Anyway, how are you doing?
You know, I am. You kind of do me dirty on the recaps all the time. I would like to say I do not appreciate the show. A show I do appreciate so far, 2 episodes in, is the Kenobi show, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Disney Plus. That's right. We are less than a minute in, and we are already talking about Star Wars, so gear up, because I've got a lot to say. Everything after this is going to be a major spoiler for both of those episodes of Kenobi that are out at the moment. So if you haven't seen them, obviously, get the fuck off this video and go watch them. Disney Plus is like $8 a month. What are you doing? But yeah, I first of all liked both episodes.
I agree. I liked them both too. I'm really glad that they dropped 2 episodes at once instead of 1.
Yeah, and they're dropping the next episode on Wednesday, so it's already going to be halfway over on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, that shit's like 6 episodes. I keep forgetting it's like a mini series.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That'd be kind of hard to stretch it. I mean, I hope they find a way for him to for Ewan McGregor to keep appearing as Obi-Wan, but it'd be kind of difficult because all he really does at this point in time is kind of just chill in the desert. But I did enjoy it a lot. They did pretty much. First of all, that first episode recap. You didn't skip the recap, right?
Oh hell no.
Yeah, that shit was dank.
I totally could have, because I had just finished watching the prequels, so I didn't like really get anything out of it. But like,
well,
actually, I'll never skip the recap.
So they might have snuck in a little something there that they did get you with, because at the end there, when Yoda said, "I'm going to teach you how to commune with Qui-Gon," that wasn't in the prequels. That was a direct reference to the fourth to final arc in the Clone Wars series, in which, so basically, just to fill you in, Yoda in this arc went to a planet and communed with Qui-Gon, who was studying to figure out how to become one with the Force, and he died before he could figure it out all the way. So he can't appear as a Force ghost, at least not in the Clone Wars time. But he can like talk sometimes to people, and so he teaches Yoda how to do it the rest of the way. And then Yoda is going to teach Yoda and Qui-Gon, presumably in this show, are going to teach Obi-Wan how to become one with the Force, and so that'll be cool to see, I think.
Yeah. I wonder like when Yoda's gonna show up, because I know they're not gonna have like a Yoda free Obi-Wan show. I feel like that would just be kind of weird.
I don't
They're
know.
gonna have a
I don't know if he's going to appear, honestly.
I was really surprised when Leia showed up, like little baby Leia. I was like, what the fuck? That's a cool idea. I
Also,
like
yeah,
that.
that's a really good clever way to get him off of Tatooine. A lot of people are saying it doesn't work, but I disagree. I think it makes it work better in A New Hope, because so in A New Hope, Leia has the Death Star plans and she's on the run from Darth Vader and she can't reach Alderaan, and so who does she run to for help? Obi-Wan. Like that was the
Exactly. It explains how she knows who he was, and the movies never really explained that. Like,
Well, they kind of did, because in so the Leia's full message in A New Hope
oh
is
yeah, you're right.
is you served alongside my father in the Clone Wars, but then she drops her whole like senator formal greeting thing, and then you can tell she leans closer to R2 and she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan." So I like to interpret that now as her first formally greeting him as like a senator, and then being like, "Yo, like I'm in some serious shit. I need you right now." So like I don't
Yeah,
know. Like the first person she ran to when she couldn't reach Bail Organa was Obi-Wan Kenobi, so it's cool. It makes it deeper, in my opinion. And my my major impressions with the show is just how good Ewan McGregor is doing. Like he's doing better than I even expected. You know what I mean? It's so good
he
to see. Like
Ewan McGregor is just one of those actors. I don't know how to explain it, but he's got so much screen charisma. Like he's just fun to watch. Like he's just like one of those like natural actors that's just like when you see him on screen, it just kind of makes me happy. Like
um, I agree completely, and he just looks the part. Like Alec, he just looks like Alec Guinness. Like it's just like I believe it so hard. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
I always have ever since I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I just assumed that they like got a younger Alec Guinness or something, or like they must have gotten a relative or something. But no. But anyway, back to the first episode. When my first major gripe is the Inquisitors are a lot less cool looking here than they are in both Rebels and Jedi Fallen Order. Like in Jedi Fallen Order, like when the second sister and the ninth sister come out of their ships to inspect the scrappers, it's downright stressful. Like they feel like high-ranking inquisitors that you should be afraid of, and they look cool. Like their costume design is really cool in that game, because it's obviously not costume design; it's a fucking game. So they had it either, I don't know, maybe easier, maybe harder in that department, but either way, it worked. Um, where and in Rebels too, even if that's a more like sanitized, I should say, or just more rounded edges type animation style than the hyperrealism of Fallen Order. They still looked intimidating, like when they first appeared. Like there's a scene where the Inquisitor ship lands and the gangway comes down, and there's fog everywhere, and they come down, and again they feel like high-ranking Imperials that you should be afraid of. In this one, it just kind of felt like three goth dudes in leather strolling into a bar. So I do like Reva and I do like the third sister, but I do hope that the Inquisitors like get cooler and get their purge troopers like we saw in the trailer soon, you know?
the three goth dudes walking into a bar thing. I just found the exact picture on Google Images of what you're talking about to a T. They're not
So
like walking
that's
into a bar per se, but they are indeed goth and three.
and you remember like Trilla, Suduri, and the ninth sister in in Fallen Order, those were cool Inquisitors. Like both of them were really scary, and that like Trilla Suduri, or the second sister, was really really calculating and really smart, and you just knew she was more intelligent than the protagonist and probably most other people. So she was scary in that aspect because she could outsmart you. And the ninth sister was scary because she was a gigantic fucking alien who could
Yeah.
squish your head, you know, and like she was just loud and brazen and terrifying. So I don't know. Maybe they just don't have the same budget as like some other projects do, but it's Disney, so I don't care like if they don't quote unquote have the budget. It's there, it's somewhere. Um and then my other major gripe so far is there's just way too many humans on Tatooine. Um there's like in my opinion the best portrayals of Tatooine, such as like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, all of the original trilogy. Tatooine is like 80% alien with like a population of like 20% humans. Here, it just felt like everybody was human, which like
Yeah. I didn't really
except for
notice that at the time, but you're right. Yeah.
whereas like I didn't. Now that I know, like, I don't want to ruin it for you or anything. Like, it's a nitpick. It's not like a major gripe. Like I said, it's like I can get past it, but it's it just feels like they didn't do enough. And it's weird that the alien species that do show up are rarely from a species I recognize. It's like all new species that they're trying to make up, I guess, which is cool. Which is I don't care. I do care a little bit, obviously, but it's not like it's not gonna ruin the viewing experience for me, you know.
If there's one thing Star Wars needed, it was even more alien species. Even
Uh,
more than the fucking bajillions that already exist and
well, you know.
don't exist.
But those were my two major gripes with the first episode. But Ewan McGregor does great. I love that shot where he goes and gets his lightsaber, and Anakin's lightsaber is right next to him. Um, I also love that everybody on the internet's divided on this, but I really like that in these two episodes so far, he's kind of hesitant and broken because he's just been working on a meat plant for 10 years,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I really care about this because I like really love this series. But anyway, let me know if I go on for too long. But and then it also shows that like the failing of the Jedi Council that he was a part of, and his personal failing of his student really affected him. And he's kind of like, yo, like I can't go back out there and look how much I fucked up when I was like swinging my lightsaber around, like behaving like a soldier and teaching my Padawan to do the same. Look how badly that fucked everything up. Like I can't go out there and do that again. Like all I can do is sit here and just wait for Luke to get old enough, and maybe I can teach him enough to like he can fix it. But like I fucked up too. Like I like how he doesn't believe in himself anymore, and you can tell, you know, because like that's relatable. If I believed that it was my fault that everybody I ever knew and loved is either dead or evil or exiled, I would and being hunted, I would feel like it was my fault too, because in a way it kind of is Obi-Wan's fault. Like he should have been a better master to Anakin in a lot of ways. He and the rest of the Jedi shouldn't have been soldiers in the Clone Wars. They shouldn't have been participating in all that. So it just really goes like I don't know, just so far that messaging that Deborah Chow, the director, has been focusing on has really been hitting me, and I just really, really fucking enjoy that.
Yeah, it's along the same lines as him being like, I guess, hesitant. I thought that was really cool just because it felt like it was in good keeping with his character, because Obi-Wan's really, really, really disciplined and shit. And he doesn't just like kind of impulsively jump onto shit. Like that scene where he was hiding from the three goth dudes. I'm just gonna call them the three goth dudes. I think that sounds funny. He's like hiding from them, and they're about to fucking kill Owen, and he's just kind of still hiding. And at first I was like, why doesn't he do something? Why doesn't he do something heroic? And I was like, oh, because of you
Luke.
know, that'd be like
And
that'd be
also
really lame and cheesy if he did.
Yeah, and it's also like, why would everybody who is saying that? It's like, dude, you're misunderstanding his character completely. He has decided that the only thing that he's going to be doing for the rest of his life is watching over Luke. He doesn't want to do anything else. He's trying, like he said to that Jedi Padawan in the desert, like, dude, it's over. Like, we lost. Like, there is one hope for this galaxy, and I am keeping my fucking eye on him because he, like, is the son of the chosen one, so like that's our next best hope.
So one like weird this is a criticism I've been seeing quite a bit of, and this type of shit always like rubs me the wrong way. But people are like really divided about this too. Like there's people on both ends of it. But I've seen a lot of people like shitting on the child actress for Leia.
She's doing a fantastic job, and I really like
Yeah.
her.
I think she's
Dude,
really good, but also it's just like God, people put so much like pressure on child
I
actors.
know,
It's
dude.
it's fucking absurd. Like
Dude, and straight up, like she's doing a great. She looks the part. Like, of course, little Leia Organa is going to be fucking sassy. Like, did you watch the original movies? Like, did she ever like give anything up easily? Like when they rescued her, the first thing she did was insult every single one of them.
yeah.
Like, fucking, it's so stupid, and they better like leave that girl alone because even if she was doing a bad job, that's still like you don't come after her. Like,
Dude, that reminds me of like the fucking poor kid who played Anakin Skywalker
yeah,
in
Jake
Phantom
Lloyd,
Menace.
yeah, his likeness is still being used in this series. It's fucking like he just recently got diagnosed with schizophrenia. He's in and out of jail all the time. It's really fucked up. I
Yeah,
hope he's doing okay.
he's from Fort Collins too. He's from Colorado. And when that movie came out, dude, he got nominated for like the Razzie Worst Actor Award. And I was just what kind of group of what group of grown adults gets together in a room and says like, "Hey, kid, you suck at acting. Here's your fucking worst actors award." Like, what a bunch of fucking assholes.
And a bunch of pussies. Um, but anyway, back on the Kenobi topic. So the ending of episode one, really loved that shot where he decides to go, and he can see his lightsabers on his hilt, and he's dressed in his classic Jedi robes. Fucking amazing. Love that shit. And then moving on to episode two, I didn't really understand Dayu because it's like, well, like how are signals in and out of this planet jammed? Why are they like? I get why they're jammed, but like looks like the Empire's here because the like I guess maybe it's just the Inquisitors and the Empire doesn't have a real presence there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was what my final conclusion. But regardless, he fucking kicked ass when he rescued Leia. I thought that was really cool. It was good to see that, like, even though he's rusty, regular people don't pose too much of a threat to him. Like they still do, but like he's still a former Jedi, so he still like can kind of get the upper hand pretty easily. Um, I thought it was funny how Flea died. You know that the guy who played the mercenary, um, who kidnapped Leia is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Yep,
right?
the world's most and only famous bass player.
But I thought his character sucked ass. But it was good to see him die. I didn't like
I
his character.
agree. Yeah, Flea fucking sucks at acting, dude. Like he really does. He was in Point Break, and between him, like he wasn't a major character. Like he was only in like one scene, but between him and Keanu Reeves, I gotta say, Point Break is probably the best movie ever made with bad acting. Because it is a great movie, but the acting is fucking phenomenally bad.
I agree. I wish I had more to say to that because like you made every point right there. But I do agree. um, and then but swinging that into an actor, I do really like the performance of a new actor in this series. Fucking Haja Estri, the scammer
The Jedi
who.
Scammer, I
Yeah,
love that guy. Holy
bro,
shit.
that might be the best comic relief I've ever seen in any Star Wars anything. It felt so real. Comedy relief in Star Wars usually comes from like weird aliens doing
Yeah,
weird
it's
shit.
it's
Or
cuz like not only was he a good actor, but they wrote him some decent dialogue. Like he
yeah,
wasn't running on like Phantom
Star
Menace
Wars. Yeah.
dialogue. Yeah. They gave him
And
good lines.
it almost felt like a sitcom for a second, and it worked. It
Yep.
really worked. And so I really like his character. I really thought that was one of the coolest, most comedic things I've ever seen in Star Wars, and it worked. And it gave Obi-Wan a good explanation for how he figured out around to go, because he's right. In his experience, he does deal with rats to get to the underworld. It happened all the time. And he did it in Attack of the Clones. He did it in the Clone Wars. So I don't know, just it's really cool so far. Um, and then getting into something again that I kind of am weirded out by is they killed the Grand Inquisitor. Or at least they stabbed him. He can't be dead. Like, he literally can't be dead, because he shows up 4 years after this on the timeline in Rebels. Like, he's the main antagonist in the first few seasons of Rebels. So it literally wouldn't make any sense that they killed him unless they got another Grand Inquisitor of the exact same species with the same name. Um,
Yeah,
it,
that is weird.
So that means that it's either a death fake out or they're decanonizing Rebels. And considering that they just announced like a sequel of sorts for Rebels at Celebration, I really don't think they'd decanonize Rebels. So the Grand Inquisitor is going to come back. I even saw a couple things on Wikipedia that his species has 2 stomachs. So I'm guessing that that's going to be like the stupid Wikipedia fact that they pull from to like fix it, because like they've been doing that a little bit lately. But regardless, that final shot where Obi-Wan says Anakin, and then it hard
Yeah,
cuts to.
that low key gave me chills. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that was fucking cool. I love this series so far. Everybody who's hating on it, like, I get it. Disney does some shitty things, and this series isn't perfect. Um, like, some of Disney Star Wars is just objectively shitty in my eyes. Like, I still enjoy it, but it's still like not. It just has a different feel to it. This feels like Star Wars to me, regardless of the little set design issues I have, the costume design issues I have, and the little bit of action issues I have. I think the dialogue is great. I think the plot is solid. I'm loving all the performances, every single one, even Reva. Everyone's complaining about Reva, and it's like, what are you talking about? She's supposed to be a jerk, an ambitious jerk that you don't like. Like,
Exactly.
she's
That
like,
just means she's a good actress, which she
yeah,
is. Like
yeah, she's
she's playing a
objectively.
hateable character. So
Yeah.
if you hate her, then she's doing her job. It's like, yeah.
Everyone, here's the thing: is everyone wants her to be like, I guess, Trilla. The thing about the second sister, who she kind of is replacing, because the second sister dies 5 years before this, um, at the hands of Darth Vader, because she, at the end, Cal Kestis and Seer made amends with her, which was a really great story. Um, but the thing about Trilla is everybody loved Trilla, because you could see she had a glimmer of good in her, and that was the whole story arc, was Cal and Seer kind of reaching out to be like, yo, like, you can come with us, like, you can be our friend, we will accept you, we will help you. Like, and I thought that was just like a really great story arc. That the character that Moses Ingram is playing, the third sister, she is not good. She does not give a shit. She is there for Kenobi. She wants Kenobi. She is ambitious. She's a jerk, and she believes that the fastest way to get to him is just to scare everybody around her and bullhorn her way through to it. That's the character. You're not supposed to like her. She's not written to be a sympathetic villain, at least not yet. Maybe in the next few episodes we'll get like a little bit of backstory, and then maybe by the end she'll be a sympathetic villain, and that'll be her arc. But at the moment, the actress is doing an amazing job at playing a character you don't like. And it's weird to see that people can't make that decision, that like discernment, you know what I mean?
That's how it's always been though. Like fuck, who was that? There was this one actress like back in the day who was just always playing like a bitch in everything she was in, but in real life she was like the nicest, but people were like, "Oh, I fucking hate." Oh, it was Marie from Breaking Bad. People hate Marie, but they also like transfer that over to the actress. And whenever she comes up in other shit, people are like, "Ew, it's that bitch." It's like, God, take it easy. She's just a fucking actor, man. She's just doing a job.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I don't understand. And here's
Don't
the thing.
take it personally.
Here's the thing. is even if she was doing a poor job, which I don't think she is, I really like her character. I love all the Inquisitors. I'm just an Inquisitor guy. Call me Quizzy. But even if she was doing a poor job, that doesn't mean you get to hate on her or harass her. You can criticize her, but don't like tag her in Twitter directly to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Don't come after her. Like, it's weird. Like, Star Wars, there's a huge sect of Star Wars fans that are just weird, man. Like, if I don't like like, I don't like any of the sequels, and not once have I gone on social media to be like, decanonize them.
Oh,
Fuck
me
the
too.
sequels. I
I
hate the
just
sequels.
just
I hate the sequels. You can just ignore them.
yeah, it's
Like, you
like,
don't
dude,
have.
just decanonize them in your head and don't watch them. Like that's what I
Yeah,
do.
literally everybody has a different variation of Star Wars canon in their head. And furthermore, every Star Wars is big enough in time that there's a place for everybody to go to. Like most of the shit that I like in Star Wars is from before episode 4. Like I love all the prequel shit.
I do too. Like like it's I can still acknowledge them for all their faults, but at the end of the day, it's like I grew up with those movies, and even when I watch them to this day, I'm still entertained. So,
Well,
how negative can I really be about them?
well even beyond just the movies, like all the video games and like shows that are coming out, like this Kenobi show's a prequel, you know what I mean? Like
So
it's all fucking good. I like it a lot.
this is not a surprising fact, but you know Star Wars has like that Star Wars is the licensed property that has the most video games based on it.
Yeah, I did know that.
Very unsurprising. I remember when I learned that, I was like, yeah, not surprising. If
So
not
I was
Star Wars, then what else? Like Marvel? Like
So yeah, you should. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do this project probably starting around December of next year because that's when the content that I'm really excited for is gonna be out for Star Wars. And it'll be over a week long, which is like the draw, I guess. But it's gonna be like a several month long project, and I was gonna see if you wanted to do it with me, where we just like either stream or record commentaries over the every Star Wars canon screen time that exists, which again is 8 days over the course of a few months, obviously not 8 days straight. Um, and then basically call it franchise fatigue, and at the end compile like a long 2.5 hour, 3.5 hour video where we just break down Star Wars and see if it's actually good or not, in our opinion.
yeah, I'm down.
I don't know, just also just a fun way to binge watch an entire franchise, you know?
Yeah.
Because the way we would do it is by that point the Acolyte will be out, so it'd be the Acolyte, which will be like 6 episodes, and then a few episodes of Tales of the Jedi, and then this movie, then another series, another and so on and so forth. The prequel era is mostly made up of TV series at this point, and the sequel era is starting to get to that point too. The only like uninterrupted trilogy that's left is the original trilogy.
Yeah. Fuck. God, there is so much Star Wars shit. It is nuts.
And you know what? I think it'd just be really cool to like watch it all in canonical order and just be like, all right, we're sticking through with these characters through the generations, pretty much.
God damn. One of my like one of my like favorite childhood memories is like you come home from school on like a Friday night and like your friend comes over to like stay the night or whatever, and then fucking Star Wars The Clone Wars new episode is on, and you just hype as shit and you just sit there, have a sleepover with your buddy watching fucking new Clone Wars. That was like the best.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of Star Wars content that like you haven't seen yet as far as TV series. I'm pretty sure like Bad Batch, which is like Clone Wars season 8 and 9, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
But after the
I haven't seen any of Rebels, but everyone says Rebels sucks.
Nah, man, trust me, everybody is wrong. Everybody looks at the animation. Everybody, like, trust me, like, I fucking swear to God, the true fans, the true Star Wars stans, we know because, like, the animation is lower quality for sure. It's definitely Disneyfied, 100%. But the story is really good. The characters are really good, and you end up caring for them. Ahsoka's in it. Darth Vader's in it. Fucking the Inquisitors are in it, and they are cool. Darth Maul is in it. It's basically like another continuation of Clone Wars. Like a lot of arcs close up. It's pretty cool.
That sounds cool. I'll probably
And
watch it at
then
some point.
there's the Tales of the Jedi coming out, which we already talked about with Count Dooku and Qui-Gon. Also, baby Ahsoka and her tribe before she gets found by the Jedi is the other reveal. We haven't seen the other episode reveals. Andor, which is like a prequel to Rogue One, which is basically about it's like a spy espionage thriller that's going to take 16 episodes. That's going to show how the rebels dealt with the Empire before they became like a fully fledged army, when they're just like a spy cell, which is also what Rebels is about. So it's going to be concurrent to that, but in live action. Um, and then Skeleton Crew, which is just about a ragtag crew of misfits. That's all we've got on it so far. And then the Ahsoka live action series, which is going to be like a continuation of Rebels. And Mando season 4.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Mandalorian. The
Yes.
next season of that, I was like, oh shit. I thought that show was over. Like I thought they were done because like that shit got wrapped up and like I loved the ending and I was like that was a good show and it was really good and I thought it was over, but they're like, no, here's some more Mandalorian.
So they said that it's going to run till season 4. They have it already written and planned out and concluded with a 4th season. So there's going to be a season 3 and a season 4 next year.
I think Baby Yoda's definitely coming back too, because I'm pretty sure like during their little like reveal tweet, they literally said like,
Oh yeah.
they mentioned that
Oh,
like right away, like Grogu coming back or whatever.
oh yeah.
I was like, okay.
He already came back in the story, and during the Mando episodes of Boba Fett, he came back already.
I think it'd be hilarious if like they just did a season where it's like 5 years later and he just comes back and he's already Yoda. He's just already fully grown. He's like,
Yeah, no. At the end of the Book of Boba Fett, they reunite, and I didn't like that decision so much, but regardless, it was still. I liked Book of Boba Fett. I gave it a C. Everybody else hated it, and I understood why. But anyway, and then there's the sequels after that, obviously. So yeah, that'll be a fun project because it'll just be basically a couple month long project where it's just like, all right, let's sit down and watch this, and we'll either like it or hate it, but at least it's like part of the story.
yep. At least we'll get
'Cause-
something out of it, even if we end
Yeah,
up forgetting it and have trouble piecing it together into the timeline later.
cool. And then like I said, if we follow through with watching everything, canonically it'll be cool because it's like, oh, this is a series, so we can watch it in bite size. This one's a movie, so we can just sit down and watch it. And then we'll have all of the Clone Wars, which we can just take in tiny little bites. So I don't know, it'll be nice variation. I think it would be a fun project that we could also do with like the MCU and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and blah 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 blah. You know?
Oh yeah, I remember we rewatched all the Lord of the Rings movies like a couple of months ago. That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was fun.
Those are fucking phenomenal movies. Peter Jackson did such a good job.
I'm hype as fuck for the next episode of Kenobi, but I'm gonna close out that with saying that I really love the new Kenobi series. I'm really enjoying it so far. I really hope that they don't fumble it with the second half. And yeah,
Yep, I'm really excited for Hayden Christensen to show up as Darth Vader. I mean, we already got like a sneak peek of him, but
that
I'm
was
excited
him
to like
in makeup.
see. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to like see him in action. I guess overall, I fucking yeah, I really liked it. I have one gripe I forgot to mention, and this is really stupid and like minor, but I'm not the only one who had this gripe because people on Twitter were calling this shit out like crazy. But when Leia gets kidnapped, the fucking chase scene
Oh yeah, it's bad.
is absolutely pathetic. It just looks really staged and like I don't know. It was like the one thing where I was like, what the fuck. Also, another like really minor little thing, and this doesn't just apply to Kenobi. This applies to literally all of Star Wars, but it's still a little nitpick nonetheless. Sometimes the world just kind of feels more like a set than a setting, if that makes sense. Like just certain scenes are just kind of like, oh. And for the most part, it's like it's really good.
Yeah, I am enjoying it. I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10 so far. Easily could be bumped up to a 9 out of 10 if they end it well.
Yeah, I'm like I don't know what I would give it. We could do like that Angry Joe thing where we like all give it a review. Or we could do the fucking Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington thing where we just give everything like a 5 out of 5. I give this one 5 bags of popcorn and a lightsaber for Obi-Wan Kenobi to slice up the bad guys. Yep, that's my review.
All right. Well,
5 bags of popcorn.
Do you have any other topics for us to delve into, Mr. Codester?
All right. Here's my first one. So, when I first saw this, this is just the kind of shit that is just like so.
Does it keep you up at night?
No, it's just so deeply retarded. So, like, Winnie the Pooh recently entered the public domain, which means
I already know.
Yeah.
I already know where you're going with this.
So, some production company people took it upon themselves to turn Winnie the Pooh into a horror movie called, I think it's called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. And it is an honest to God Winnie the Pooh horror movie that is being made. And I'm gonna put it on the screen. Because, like, what the fuck? Like, what? Why?
Not really necessary.
I just don't understand, like, who, like, why it's happening. Like, I don't care. I'm not, like, a Winnie the Pooh fan, but...
Who asked for it?
Yeah, it's like, what's the point?
I literally can't remember how to see the screen that you're sharing. Like, and
Oh, it's all good. I don't even think I remembered to turn that on.
oh, okay. You mean like, okay, I get you. But yeah, it does look pretty stupid. It's like, bro, that just screams like edgelord cringe kid in your class that like wore a bunch of I Heart booby bracelets and skinny jeans. Like, I don't know. It's just like it's not like clever or original, bro. Everybody has thought of like it's already been done to death. The whole like, ooh, this is a friendly child or a child-friendly character, but look, he has sharp teeth now and he's scary. Ooh, like, bro, like it's not. It's played out, and honestly, it's probably not the smartest like property to do that with because a lot of people like love Winnie the Pooh and probably don't like that. Like, I don't know. It's just like it just seems like a stupid fucking thing to do. I don't want to shit on artists or independent filmmakers or whatever. Like, it's in the public domain, so do whatever you want. But that's stupid.
That's
my take.
I'll shit all over it. I think it's the dumbest damn idea in the entire 7 seas. And I hope that this movie makes like $2 at the box office because it's just such a fucking stupid idea. And it's like if, you know, Looney Tunes was in the public. Looney Tunes isn't in the public domain, is it? I don't think it is. But let's just say, you know, Looney Tunes is in the public domain, and you just randomly are like, oh, I'm gonna make a Bugs Bunny rape movie or something like a 120 Days of Sodom kind of a thing. And it's just like, but why? Like why do you gotta like tarnish a beloved child property instead of just coming up with your own shitty thing? Because, you know, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be one of those like terrible horror movies that's runs on like a fucking $10,000 budget. Because the whole strategy with horror movies is like quantity over quality like crazy. Because it's so cheap to make horror movies nowadays that they can just churn those bitches out so fast. And their whole mindset is we can just keep making these movies over and over. And if just one of them is a success, then we make a ton of money. So they can make 10 terrible horror movies. And if just one of them does well at the box office, then they're like, all right, cool. Now we'll just
Yeah,
keep
because
doing this formula.
that's always been the draw of horror movies, even like as far back as the 90s at least. In the modern age is like they're really cheap to produce. Like fucking Paranormal Activity costs like what, like a Honda Civic to produce, and then they made like 20 billion
Oh, I
or whatever.
know.
So,
You gotta wonder
like,
how many people were outraged when, like, the Blair Witch Project came out, because that movie made so much money, and that is a movie that anyone on this planet can make. If you have a camera, if you have a phone, you got a camera on your phone, you can go outside and make the Blair Witch Project right now. You could do
I'll
a shot-for-shot remake of that bitch. Like,
I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it. The Blair Witch Project is not a good movie.
I hate that fucking movie.
I don't understand why it gets praised as often as it does. Like, I get that it was like a cultural phenomenon at the time, but like, even like, why? It could not have been fun to watch in the theater. It's not fun to watch at home.
It
It's
was
like it gives me a headache.
It was unscary, it was unsuspenseful, it was annoying because the characters were just constantly screaming each other's names, and that was pretty much the whole movie. And the camera, whoever was filming, can go fucking suck on the business end of a shotgun, because holy shit, the whole time you're just looking at sticks and rocks on the ground. The whole movie
Yeah.
is just sticks and rocks and shouting.
During the
It's
climax, it's like this. It's she doesn't pan the camera up once, which I get. It's realistic because like you wouldn't do that, but it's like also, hey, you're making a movie, dude. Like this is for me. This is for my eyes. Like why am I looking at fucking concrete?
seriously, good God, that movie was fun. That movie was a chore to watch. I'd be shocked if anyone on the planet has seen the Blair Witch Project more than once.
Yeah, I've
Like,
seen it exactly once.
I cannot fathom anyone on the planet being like, "Oh yeah, that's like my go-to horror movie." It is so boring. It is such a nothing burger. It's just a movie where nothing happens for like 2 hours. It's just watching people shout at each other in the woods with sticks.
Yeah, yeah, and all I remember about that movie is the climax where all you see is concrete and sticks and them arguing about a map for like 35 minutes of the runtime.
Yeah. All I
Because
remember.
one of the group was like a prankster, and he was like, "We don't need no map." Like,
And the one character, Josh, I don't know which one he was. I don't know who he was. I just remember his name because his name was constantly being shouted throughout the movie. The whole movie they were like, Josh, 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 Josh. And it was just like, okay, so we got a Josh here. I don't know which one of you he is. But remember, like, the good old days when horror movies used to be good, like The Shining. Like, they're not even scary, like, but just good movies, just well made and just fun as shit to watch and well acted. Like The Shining and The Thing and Alien. Horror movies have lost their way since like the 70s and 80s.
horror movies are at their best when they're like combined with another genre, like sci-fi or
Yeah.
like Alien is such a good horror movie, and it's such a good sci-fi movie.
Seriously, that and The Thing. The Thing is definitely sci-fi. I mean, the monster in and of itself is basically like an alien, so but uh yeah, I agree. Horror and sci-fi meld really, really well together, and that's probably part of why I love Dead Space so much now that I think about it. Because Dead Space is like one of my favorite games of all time.
Uh, I,
Awesome
I
sci-fi horror setting.
it's not one of my favorites, but it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. I will admit to that.
What's another point that I wanted to make about this stupid Winnie the Pooh thing? Maybe I already made all of it. It's just like how, like, I don't know, this whole thing is just baffling. in a weird way. It's like, why is this movie happening? It's just so stupid. And it comes off like I'm being like it's personally affecting me or something. I didn't even really grow up with Winnie the Pooh. I didn't really watch Winnie the Pooh. But I just feel like it's dumb to do that. Like,
It is dumb.
it's just like, it's a bad idea from every perceivable angle. But yeah. Well, look at what's happening to this country. The degeneracy they're putting on the screen. Violating Winnie the Pooh. Oh. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to put that one to rest. I can't really think of anything else to stuff into that Winnie the Pooh
Me neither.
bag.
That's all I know about it, is that it looks shitty and it's stupid.
So there was some Ethan. There was yet. God, I feel like I'm turning into Keemstar or something. There's more Ethan drama. H3.
Ethan H3. Okay, yeah, okay.
He made some kind of like bomb threat joke regarding like an NRA convention, and now he is being absolutely like destroyed on Twitter over it by everybody. Like even people who hate the NRA are against Ethan here. I'm gonna get Ethan on screen just to give us some context. There we go. God, is there a single flattering picture of Ethan in existence?
Hey.
Good Lord. I'll go with this picture even though it's like 300 by 200. But anyway, yeah, he made a bomb threat at the NRA, and then he was like, guys, it was just a joke.
Wait, he made an actual bomb threat?
Not like he like insinuated to his fans that they should go bomb the NRA convention. And obviously that made Twitter pretty unhappy, which was honestly crazy to see, sort of, because like even the hardcorest of hardcore, like liberal gun hating NRA hating people were on Ethan's shit. Like, dude, come on, that's fucked up. So yeah. It was just weird to see. It was just another thing where Ethan united a bunch of people against him again. Like,
I could be wrong, but is that a crime?
I think the way he went about it wasn't technically a crime. It was just kind of like a fucked up statement. But yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Ethan H3. I'm just gonna look up H3 bomb. Okay. Ethan Klein of H3 Podcast calls on 400,000 fans to bomb NRA something. The bomb NRA meeting. And YouTube yawns. Whatever that means. Videos that call for violence are supposed to... Oh, okay. So this article is saying that the video where he said it should get banned because he's calling for violence. Okay.
You ever see that weird podcast that he did with Trisha Paytas called Frenemies?
Yeah, that was really weird. I never actually watched it, but everybody hated it. And it was just
kind of
basically a drama dump.
It was weirdly fascinating because it was a podcast between a self-admitted crazy person, someone like who fully embraced it, and a closeted crazy person who tried to play the part of a straight man. So it was just kind of weirdly fascinating to watch their takes on everything, and it was just completely unhinged all around.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, Ethan is not well, man. Like, Ethan has issues.
The video has been taken down. Looks like YouTube has taken the video down, but there's a clip here on Twitter, and I'm going to go ahead and listen to it.
So there was a big protest outside the NRA
12
meeting.
seconds long.
Do we have any insight into what they're actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas? Someone should bomb that building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, he just went for it.
What did he say? Like, specific?
He literally just says, we should bomb that building. It's just so matter of fact about it. There was like no humor in his voice either. Like not even a little bit of humor.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's like a next level
Oh, there was a
stupidity.
big in Texas. Someone should
Like, I
bomb that
can't
building.
understand how you would say something like that and just expect to not get in trouble for it.
Bomb that
They just
building.
need to stop. Like, there's a lot of content creators that are just like, yo, dude, you should just stop. This is causing you a lot of trouble. Just go get a regular job.
Yeah, him and Boogie need to just like stop. Boogie
Boogie,
is
mate,
a fucking mess. Jesus, that guy.
that guy shows up on my Twitter algorithm all the time, too, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, me too, and I don't follow him, so it's just like, where are these fucking tweets coming from? Like, what? Boogie is addicted to the fucking internet, so if Twitter would like not put him on the algorithm front and center, that'd be cool. Because him being on the internet too much is a big reason he is the way he is. But
Yeah, Twitter has a negative effect on everybody involved.
All right. Here's my take on should the NRA be bombed?
No,
I'm gonna go with no. I
no
know that
place.
there are people who fucking hate the NRA, call them terrorists and shit, but like they're not actually terrorists. Like, come on now, terrorists are terrorists. People who actually, kill people and arrange for terror killings and stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm sure the NRA has done some pretty like heinous shit in terms of government lobbying and stuff. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about the NRA. I literally all I know about the NRA is that they like guns.
yeah,
That's it. That's all I know.
yeah. I
So
don't want to get into the politics of that, and I don't want to get into like. I don't even want to keep saying the B word.
that's why I keep saying I don't know, because I don't want anyone to hear something I say and interpret that as like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about, or I'm some kind of expert. Like, no, full disclosure, I don't know. Like, so yeah, that's my take on that. That's my take on most fucking political topics, is just I don't know and I don't care. And you really can't win when it comes to politics, because super political people are just going to be like, oh, you don't care? Why don't you care? It affects you. And it's just like, holy fucking shit. Shut up. Life is short, man. I only have energy to care about so much stuff. Politics is just not really up there. See, what is up there? Video games. Weed. Going to work every day. And doing this podcast.
Yeah, this
And,
podcast, bro, it keeps a roof over our heads, bro.
and also recording other video games.
I don't do that.
Dude, you're telling me you're the only person on this planet right now who's not recording and uploading video game gameplay while talking to themselves?
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't plug your microphone into your computer or your PlayStation or whatever, and you hit a record button, and you just play a video game and talk to yourself into the mic, and then upload that to YouTube?
Nope.
Because I don't do that either. I think that's fucking weird.
No, I know you do. You uploaded a video yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't me. That was my evil twin,
Bodie.
Brody.
No, just Bodie.
There was actually a kid named Brody in one of my classes back in high school, and he was a slightly uglier looking. He looked kind of like me, except like slightly uglier. I'm not saying that to be like, oh yeah, I'm Mr. Handsome. Like, no, objectively, this guy was just not very good looking. And that's my
Like
Brody
Quasar.
story. Oh, that was another good story.
That was my.
I like
Nope,
this.
it's my story now.
Oh, bad. I'm gonna tell the Quasar story now. So back in high school, this is a short story too. I was in the computer lab doing some shit during lunchtime, and there was this big group of like nerds that would hang out in there. and play, I think it was League of Legends. Yeah, they'd play League of Legends in the computer lab and shit, just hang out and eat their food in there. And it was kind of like that episode of South Park with the World of Warcraft. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone remembers that episode because it was really, I don't know. But this motherfucker, I can't remember his name. I'll call him Denny just for the sake of the story. I don't know why I settled on Denny. But him and his friends were all sitting around playing League of Legends, and suddenly this kid just gets up and like punches the fucking computer and yells, "My Quasar!" as loudly as he could. And it was so awkward because the room was dead silent up to that point. And then he just gets up and you just hear BAM! Like he hits this computer screen, yells, "My Quasar!" I don't know what a Quasar is. If there's any League of Legends buffs out there, I'd like to know. Anyone still plays that game. But yeah, that was a funny moment. Scared the fucking shit out of me too. When you're sitting in like a dead quiet room and then suddenly like a loud rage happens, it just kind of like scares you, you know?
Yeah, and then I'm guessing everybody laughed at him.
Yeah, there was some snickering, but for the most part, everyone was like, "Oh, we gotta be quiet. We gotta be quiet. Otherwise,
That's
teacher-san will be upset."
That's... Stop.
But yeah, that's the same kid who was always trying to talk to me about something. And like in hindsight, I probably should have just talked to him because he was always trying to talk to me about nerdy shit that I was into, like video games and stuff. But I just didn't like the guy. He was obnoxious. Like he was annoying. And now that I look back, he probably had some kind of like mental thing that was wrong with him. But he was always just coming up to me and saying shit like, "So, how far away do you think we are from the augmented future?" And I would just be like, "Wait, what?" He'd be like,
Dude, I'm 10.
He'd be like, "Yo, how close do you think we are to the augmented future?" And I was like, I didn't really know what he was talking about, so I gave some kind of bullshit answer that didn't make sense. And he picked up on that, and he was like, "No, what I mean," and then he went on this long-winded rant about Deus Ex, which is actually a very, very good video game series. But if you like Cyberpunk, play Deus Ex because it's better. But anyway, he went on a really long-winded rant about that game, and he was like, "Yo, how long do you think, basically until we live in Deus Ex world?" And I was just like, "Dude, I don't know. We're at school right now. Like, I'm not really in nerd video game mode. I'm in like get laid mode. Like, I kind of turn that shit off when I'm at work and school and shit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's got like an on-off button. Depends on who I'm talking to, obviously, but overall, I'm just like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk to you about augmented future.
Ooh, that brings me into a story I can tell that that kind of relates to that too. Do you remember that? We already talked about this over a text message, so you do. But that time that Josh from our old job, he listened to us talk about Monster Hunter World for like a week or two. And keep in mind, we weren't like talking to him about it. We didn't say like, "Hey, you need to buy this game." The only thing we did was answer his questions when he asked about it. And then one day he just like me and you were playing it, and we got an invite from him, and he was like, "Hey, I downloaded this stupid game." We were like, "Oh."
I recommended the game to him. And as I recommended the game, I said, "Get ready, the game has kind of a steep learning curve. It's not a hard game, but it's one of those games where it doesn't really come to you. You have to kind of meet the game halfway in terms of learning it, you know?" And I told him that. And I didn't say, "Yeah, you should definitely get this game. It's for you, blah, blah, blah." I recommended it, but, I gave him that little disclaimer. And this motherfucker acts like I broke into his house, fucked his wife, and held a gun to his head, and forced him to download that game on the spot. It was just like, dude, I just said, yeah, it's a fun game and I recommend it, but be aware that you might have to, learn it. And that was the other thing with him too, is like he does that thing that people do, a classic like rookie mistake where you think you suck at the game, but you don't. You're just starting. And I was trying to like make that clear to him when we were playing, because he was just like, oh, he kept saying that he sucked, and he kept like asking questions and shit, and I was just like, dude, it's okay to suck. Like, you don't, it's not that you suck, it's just that you're learning. Like, there's a lot of games like that. Like any Souls game, for instance. The game's gonna kick your ass and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm fucking terrible at this game. No, you're not. You're just learning. You're getting your fucking feet wet, and that's all part of it. That's a part of the core loop, is failing so that you can learn how to overcome that failure. And he didn't understand that. Like, he was just, I don't know. He expected that game to be something different. I don't know what he really wanted it to be, but the game just wasn't what he expected, I think.
Yeah, and it was just really annoying how like the first thing he said was like, "Yeah, I downloaded this stupid game," and then he pouted at work about it too. It was like,
Yeah, holy shit, that was funny as fuck. Oh
bro,
man.
I was like, dude, calm down. Like, it's okay. Nothing,
think
nothing bad happened.
what threw him off about that game, and what throws people off about like a lot of games, is that there were a lot of like moving parts in that game as far as the mechanics go. And there was a lot to learn, and there's a lot of different what's the word? Mechanics, I guess. The risk of sounding redundant as fuck. But there's a lot going on in that game, and some people can't handle that. Some people just like that casual, like, Call of Duty, turn my brain off kind of shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, some people just don't have the patience to get around stuff like that. And the thing is, it doesn't actually require as much patience as they think. Because a lot of people, I think, are locked into that mindset of like, oh, I have a full-time job, so I don't have time to get good at this stupid game or whatever. And it's like, it's not going to take you as long as you think, unless you're just a bad learner. like I don't know. I work full time. I work like between 9 to 12 hours every day, and I still play fucking games like Monster Hunter and Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and I think they're fucking great. like,
I agree. We are in agreement.
I can understand why people would get into that rut of like, oh yeah, this game is too stressful for my life or whatever. And that's understandable, but overall, like, Monster Hunter World wasn't it wasn't a difficult game. It just had it had a high skill ceiling.
What's funny about that is it was like the easiest of all the Monster Hunter games too.
Oh yeah, I heard that world was like a cakewalk compared to the other ones. I had never World was the only Monster Hunter game I've ever played.
Yeah, same here, but like the true like the quote unquote like deep fans of that game, like they really they didn't dislike it, but it wasn't like a favorite, like they're already back to playing the DS versions.
So
At least for the most part.
yeah, one thing that helped me get better at that game was the few times that I played it with Callum, because Callum was really good at that game, and he had played the previous Monster Hunters. So like, Monster Hunter World is apparently like super duper. It's funny that we're talking about how complex it is. Apparently, it's really casual compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
And Callum was a veteran of the other ones. So when he came into Monster Hunter World, he was just like, wow, this shit's easy. He was already good at it. So the few times I played with him, I learned a lot about the game. And I just got so much better just by like listening to Callum, basically, just asking him shit. That's one
Yeah,
of those
same
things
here.
where
I
it's
remember that too.
where it's just like I'm really like I'm glad that I have like a friend who's already acquainted with this kind of shit, so I can get like a little head start. But yeah, it was cool. I learned a lot just by like fuck. I mean, we played for a while, but I don't know. Callum was flaky, so it was on and off like all the time.
Sorry, brother. Do you care if we take a quick break in the recording? I just gotta pee really bad.
Oh no, you're good. We can actually end right now if you want. It's been like an
All right,
hour.
yeah. All right, hey, podcast viewers, I'm gonna go pee.
Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm gonna close things out with an ad read.
All right, I'm gonna go pee right now. You close out the episode.
Oh yeah, this works because I don't know which ad we're going with. Let me think here. Let me think. It's on the tip of my tongue. Let me think. Dreamco VCR. Dreamco VCR. Come on, Cody, put on your salesman shoes. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever tried to watch a movie or a show on any of these streaming services and been bombarded with constant buffering or quality dips? Are you tired of not even owning the movies and shows that you purchase? Well then, I have a solution that's perfect for you and your family. Ladies and gentlemen, Dreamco VCR is selling the truth. They're selling the reality of VCR hardware and its unrelenting quality straight from the 90s and early 2000s right back into your home. People, Mother's Day is coming up. You think your mom wants a clunky ass Apple TV or a Roku or anything like that? No. It's confusing. It's unintuitive. And frankly, it's an eyesore in your living room. Get your mom a refurbished VCR from our friends at Dreamco VCR using code BIGBOYPALACE 838-4427-86-289 378456108926 at checkout for 2.3% off your order. Yeah, that's Big Boy Palace. I think they fucked the name up. That's okay. Please check them out over at Dreamco VCR in the phone book. All right. Hey, you came back just in time for the final ad read. We save the. What if a podcast saved their ads for like the very last thing? That'd be hilarious.
Some do, I think.
You just know to leave. Just like, all right, bye.
I bet you a lot of them do.
Oh yeah, I feel really proud of that ad read. I kind of just yoinked that out of my ass. Anyway, yeah, Dreamco VCR. Love it or leave it, baby. And that's going to be the end of this episode. Thank you for listening. Bye.